One thing you will learn about me is that if there is a way to overcomplicate an issue, I will find it. Hey guys, we're back with another one. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining. My name is Lindsay from She Is Booked and Busy, and we are going to be choosing my September TBR. Okay, so for this month, I really wanted to do something kind of fun that would give me some like varied reading, because for the past couple of months I've been sticking kind of to not a strict TBR, but I've been really regimentedly sticking. Like last month I was only worried about making progress in series that I'd started. But this month I'm kind of feeling a little bit more like a mood reader. I don't want to be too strict on myself, so I figured we would do something fun. And as per usual, I figured out the most possible complicated way to do this and said, yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and take you on a walk and talk you through the way we're going to do this, the little game I came up with that, in my opinion, truly randomizes what we're going to read this month. So come along with me. Okay, so welcome to my little reading setup. This is actually in our in-law apartment. This is like our guest apartment and our guest area. So basically it has my office and then like my overflow books. So the first 2.5 shelves of this back bookcase are books that I've already read. Then the last half of this bottom shelf is where my thrillers start. This whole shelf, and then to the first half of this shelf is thrillers. Then there's my overflow romance, starting with on the bottom shelf my fantasy here, and then overflow fantasy special editions all on here, into the rest of my fantasy, right about halfway right there, starting my romance, and then my full romance shelves. So what I've done is I've gone to each shelf, I've numbered each shelf, and then these bottom numbers right here are going to be how many books are on the shelf. I counted them all out. So let me show you what I was thinking we'd do. Okay, so basically what I did was I used, and I've used this before, I used this random spin wheel editor, and I added one slice of each little pie piece as my shelves, plus a couple of wild cards, and I'm going to walk you through it. And I figure we would do a combination of spinning reels using Surrey's random feature on my iPhone, and we're going to really get a super random selection of books for this month. Let me show you what I did. I'm going to actually screen record so you can see this. So as you can see, each pie slice has a numbered shelf. I numbered each one of them. I want to make sure I have enough. Of course there's not. Let me go ahead and add the right number of shelves. Now we should be good. So as you can see, each piece of the pie has a number. That is the shelf number 1 through 19. I've numbered each of my shelves. But then I wanted to make it a little bit, there's some like wild cards, so that I'm not like pigeonholing myself too much. I'm letting myself choose a little bit because I don't want to be too regimented this month. So I added a couple of extra pie slices. So the top one says Kindle. The next one says your choice. That's going to be totally random. It's just a book that I've been really wanting to get to, and because of my TBRs, I haven't had a chance to. Then the bottom one says Kindle Unlimited. I pay for Kindle Unlimited every single month, and I want to make sure that I'm using it. So Kindle Unlimited. And then the last one says buy one. That means that I get to go onto my Amazon or go to Barnes & Noble and buy a book that I've been wanting that isn't physically on my shelves. Between you and I'm kind of hoping I don't get that, because I have a lot of books on my shelves that I really, really, really want to read. So once we've picked our shelf, we move on to which book on our shelf we're going to read. So for that, I am going to use the random number generator on Surrey to tell me which book to read. So let's go ahead and do this so that we can kind of, I think it's going to kind of become more obvious, and for everyone whose brains don't work like mine and don't overcomplicate unnecessarily literally everything, I think it'll make more sense if we just spin a couple and you see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and spin for the first one. Okay, I am so excited. I'm officially screen recording, so let's hope this works, but are you ready? Shelf 9. Okay, let's take a walk over because that's in the other room. Okay, shelf 9. Here we are, guys. This is a fantasy shelf. And as you can see, it's 1 through 21. So there's 21 books on this shelf. So let's go ahead and ask Suri what we should do here. Ready? Hey, Suri. Pick a number between 1 and 21. What is that? Oh, focus. 20. All right, let's get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Guys! That is The Shadow Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. This is a vampire romantasy. I am so excited. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. Oh my god, this is off to such a good start. Let's screen record again. Okay, ready? Next one. Your choice. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Okay, so I think I'm going to save my your choices at the end, because I want to see how many fantasy, how many romance, how many thrillers, etc. So I think anytime I get a your choice, I'm going to save it at the end, and I'm going to fill in the gaps of what I want to read. I also realized I didn't mention, let's set the parameters out here. If I spin and the number on my shelf is a book in the middle of a series that I'm not at yet, I'm going to start at the first book in the series. You know what I'm saying? If I get book 4 in the series, I'm not just going to go ahead and read it. That just means that it wants me to start the series at the last book I left off at. Just to let you know. All right, so we have one your choice saved up. Okay, let's try. $11. That's also in my fantasy section in the other room. So let's go take a peek. Okay, here we are at shelf 11. It is a fantasy shelf, you can kind of see. Now here's where that series rules comes in. This is where my Leigh Bardugo stuff is. Oh, and my Emily McIntyre. This is all series, pretty much all series. I think the law of proportion says we might be starting a new series, so let's go ahead and say. Editing Lindsay here. I'm sitting here at the computer, and after just saying I think we're going to start a new series. No, I don't know where the footage went of me counting on my shelves, but it's gone. So I'm not sure. Anyways, I asked Suri to pick a random number, and it was number 1, and that gave us Radiance by Grace Draven. And I talked in that clip about how I have literally no idea. I don't know anything about this book. This was 100% an Instagram bookstagram purchase. I saw Anna M. Reed's read it and actually really like it, so I bought it. Full disclosure, this one is kind of like the wild card for me because on that shelf I wouldn't have chosen this. But that's part of the fun of choosing your TBR this way, right? I wouldn't have chosen this, and maybe it'll end up being my favorite book of the month. So I don't know where the footage went, but it's Radiance by Grace Draven. All right, next one. Screen record and spin. $13. Oh, that's my overflow fantasy. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go do that one. Okay, here we are at shelf 13. This is one of my favorite shelves. It is one of my special edition shelves, and there's a ton of options. Here we have 1 through 30. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and see. Hey Suri, pick a number between 1 and 30. 26. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan. This is the second in the, I forget what, These Hollow Vows trilogy? Or duology? So we are going to go ahead and put These Hollow Vows on our TBR. How beautiful is this edition? We'll go over that in a minute. Let's go ahead and do another one. I think we'll do like 6 or 7. Yeah, like 6 or 7. This is kind of fun. I really honestly just think I like spinning the wheel. But whatever. Okay, let's do like 6 or 7. All right, ready? Eight. That is in the next room, and I think that's another fantasy shelf. I'm not that mad about it because I have, stop my screen recording. I have mostly fantasies, but also it's like fantasy fall. Like, I don't know why, but fall screams fantasy thriller type of mood to me. I don't know. I have a lot of cute fall romances, but fantasy fall is fine with me. So we have another fantasy shelf. Here is shelf 8. It is fantasy. There are a couple of series on here. It's so hard to film down here, so let's go ahead and see what we're picking. There is 1 through 25 on the shelf. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 25.
A random number between 1 and 25 is 7.
7. All right, let's get it. Okay, update. Editing Lindsay here again. So like I said in my previous choice, I could not figure out why I had lost footage. And now the mystery has been solved. When I'm filming, I use this. You see it sometimes like I'm holding it in my hand. This is my remote control that starts and stops filming. And I use it when I'm putting my camera down and then like backing away, right? This was running out of batteries. So I think some of the times when I was filming and I would hit this to start recording, it didn't, like the batteries were going dead and it didn't do what it was intended to do. Its literal only job in life is to start and stop recording, and it did not, in fact, start and stop recording like 50% of the time. I have changed the battery. We should be fine moving on out, but that is why some of my footage was missing, I think. So in the last clip, Suri chose number 7. I went to the shelf, counted it out, and number 7 was Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This right here is an example of something I'm super, 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 did I say super? Excited to read. This was really high up on the books I was hoping I could get to this fall. Basically, I had already had this book on my shelf, and then I watched Sarah Caroli and Rachel Catherine read it and give it a 5-star. Then when the fabulous Miss Destiny Sidwell went to visit Sarah in one of their vacations, they chose books for each other's to read, or one of their visits. They chose books for each other to read, and Sarah loved this book so much that she picked this for Destiny to read. And I don't remember if Destiny gave it 5 stars, but I remember she did really like it. So from what I've gathered from their videos, basically, because you guys know I like to go in kind of blind, but from what I've basically gathered is this is a superhero dystopian novel. I believe it's like a dystopian city where superheroes, like everyone has a different superpower or something. I don't want to know too much about this. That's kind of how I like to go into my books, but she's thick. She's a bigger book, but I am so excited to read this. Next one. Here we go. This is going awesome though. All right, let's screen record. You ready? $14. That's my special edition shelf. Oh my goodness. So there is a mix of genres in there. Admittedly, I think it is mostly fantasy, but there are some mixed into there that aren't. Okay, let's go take a look at that. 2, the special edition shelf. Oh, I didn't put this one back. My bad. Okay. 2, the special edition shelf. Number 14. There's a good mix. It's mostly fantasy, but there's a good mix here. So on this one, we're going to do 1 through 34. Hey, Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 34.
A random number between 1 and 34 is 6.
Okay. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is The Atlas Paradox, which is the second book. So we are going to start with the Atlas 6. Guys, explain to me why I am so intimidated by this book. But I really want to get into it. So, all right. Atlas 6 on our TBR. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus my your choice. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. But so far, these are all books that I've been like really excited to read, so I think I'm gonna fly through these. Let's do a couple more. I'd rather have a couple more on my TBR that I don't read. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Okay, anyways, let's do a couple more. Screen record. A Kindle book. Oh my God, that's so exciting. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that. Let me write this down. I think I'm going to leave that to the end to choose with my wilds because I have like a ton of different variety of Kindle books. So I think I'm going to leave that. All right, let's do this. $18. Guys, that is officially a romance shelf. $18. Okay, let's go figure out which one that is. Okay, here is shelf 18. This is romance. Romance shelf. Let's go. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 37. 30. Geez, you're gonna make me count like that? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so 30 is The Chase, which is part of the Off-Campus Briar U series, but I am not actually up to that one yet. I am up to The Goal. So we are going, ooh, don't fall over. We are going to move on in this series to The Goal. This is the 4th from the Off-Campus series, and I'm so excited to move on because I love Al Kennedy's writing. Okay, so that was 8. I feel like we go for a random, like a well-rounded 10. We haven't pulled any mysteries, and it's only been one romance, but I could choose a mystery or a romance for my Your Choice or Kindle. So we have like a pretty good rounded one, but let's do 2 more. Okay. So let's screenshot. I keep spinning the wheel before the 3 seconds where it's screen recording, so, all right, here we go. One, that's a mystery thriller shelf. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, good. I'm glad about that. Okay, good. Let's go and choose our mystery thriller. We are at shelf 1, and this is the one I'm actually probably most excited for because this is just kind of an overflow area, and most of these are books that I've recently purchased that I haven't had room for in my actual shelves. So there's a lot of new releases. There's actually all of Carissa Broadbent's series over here, which I've wanted to dig into her. So I'm really excited. This is also the biggest shelf. We're going to do number 1 through 60 on this one. So, hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 60. Focus, please. Oh, can you see that? I don't know why it won't focus, but it's number 7. Thank you for not making me count to 60. Are we going to be a Carissa Broadbent? Oh my God! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. Okay, wait. We have a little bit of research to do. I think this is a standalone. But why am I second guessing myself and saying that this is part of the Crowns and Nyaxia series? Do I need to read Serpent of the Wings and Night before Slaying the Vampire Conqueror? Can you guys comment below and tell me? For right now, I'm going to pull out Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. But if you guys tell me I have to read Serpent in the Wings of Night, I'll switch it out for this one. I am so excited. I love this. All right, let's do it again. Okay, screenshot. Wait the 3 seconds. Spin. Seven. I don't know if that's, I think that's romance. That might be romance. Let's go take a look. We are at shelf 7. This is another romance shelf. I'm really excited about this one. So this is going to be numbers 1 through 25. So hopefully it focuses now. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 25. 2. That should be easy. We're getting a lot of low numbers. All right, let's look. What is number 2? Oh, number 2 is, what is that called? Love from Cold World? Okay, I don't know if these are interconnected, but just in case, I'm actually going to take Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. It's kind of hard to see, but by Alicia Thompson. Don't mind the change in outfit. Am I the only person who, when I get home from work, it's like immediately take off work clothes, put on home clothes? That's exactly what happened. I got home from work, then I went to pick up the kids from school, and work clothes are done for the day. So, anyways, if you notice a outfit change, it's acknowledged. Let's move on. Okay, we have a really, really good stack going on here so far, but we still have my wild card, like my choice book, and my Kindle book. So let's go ahead and pick my Kindle book. Okay, so we have fantasy, 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 fantasy. Atlas 6 is fantasy, like fantasy, romance, fantasy, romance. I have a wild card. I can choose a thriller. Let's see what we have on the old Kindle here. Okay, actually, you know what I want to do? Let's check what's in my Kindle Unlimited library first. We're going to do this. So in my Kindle Unlimited, I'm currently holding The Hunger Games, Signs of Cupidity by Raven Kennedy, the second book in the Mind F series, Done and Dusted, Minx by Sophie Lark, Threaded by Tay Rose, The City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards, A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Hall, Charlie Love and Clichés by Ella Mays, Tying the Knot by Megan Quinn, a monster romance book, Blood Orange, Steel King by Devney Perry, Coach by Devney Perry, The Two of Us, Ivy, Fate of Wrath and Flames, Blockshot, Bridge Kingdom, and When Gracie Met the Grump by Mariana Zapata. Okay. Guys, do I do it? I think I do. All right. The decision has been made. I am going to read The Hunger Games on my Kindle this week, or this month, I should say. I have never read The Hunger Games before. The Hunger Games came out when I was like a little older. I was like Harry Potter generation. By the time The Hunger Games came out, I feel like I was just like a little bit of an older kid, adolescent. So I never really got much into it. I was too much wrapped up in Harry Potter already. So I want to see what The Hunger Games is about. So for my Kindle choice, I'm going Hunger Games. All right, and now to figure out what I'm going to do for my choice book, like my wild card book. I think I'm kind of set on like a mystery thriller. I'm staring at the shelf now. So let's go and take a walk over to that shelf and see what I have over there. Okay. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell is a high contender. Everyone Here Is Lying by Cheryl Lapina is a high contender. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, I could do a Stacy Willingham book. Either All the Dangerous Things or A Flicker in the Dark. Oh, I could do No Exit by Taylor Adams. I could do Falling by TJ Newman. Oh, there's this book I recently just got, Something in the Water. That sounds really good. We know I'm obsessed with sharks. I'm hoping that's a shark book. I have the second book by Frida McFadden in the Housemaid series. I have The Coworker. This is her brand new one, just released, I believe, officially today. I've had it for a little bit. The One by John Mars I've heard is really good. I could start the Truly Devious series. I'm not feeling cozy mystery because this is like my thriller choice. So I think I'm going to skip Vera Wong. Oh, and there's all these. I could do a Sally Hepworth and Alice Feeney. I just got Alice Feeney's, let me do this, brand new book. Good Bad Girl. I could do that. What Lies in the Woods, Things We Do in the Dark. Oh, hard to do one-handed. Come on. All right, there you go. I could do a Ruth Ware, a Megan Miranda. Okay. Let me narrow this down. Okay, decision made. I was honestly between Lisa Jewell's new book and The Last Word by Taylor Adams, but I'm really, really excited to get into this. I've seen so many creators giving this 5 stars, so I'm really excited to read this. We're going to go ahead and put The Last Word by Taylor Adams on the TBR. Okay, so let's talk about the stack, the TBR stack. The first book we got was The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. This is about, I think it's a vampire romantasy. It says, my lovers all feel the need to give me nice things, very expensive things. It's been a fun game, learning their secrets, seducing them, getting them to shower me with gifts, but to be honest, I'm bored with it. I have a new game in mind. I'm going to woo the king. Ooh. So it's like a royalty vampire romantasy. Oh, God. Lindsay here. It's under 300 pages, I believe, or at least like in that 300 page mark. So I'm really excited to read this. The print is kind of tiny, but excited about this. I'm really loving that this stack is heavily fantasy because it's fantasy fall. So The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. Second, we have Radiance by Grace Draven. This is kind of like, I think, the book on the stack that I'm like the most, not even like not excited, just like unsure about. So this is more of an indie author. I've seen a lot of creators on TikTok who are heavily in the fantasy romantasy space suggest this. Is it just me, or does the cover kind of scream that it's going to be like a little bit spicy, a little bit smutty? So maybe like spicy, smutty romantasy. I have no idea what it's about. He looks kind of like a, what is he, like a wraith, a zombie or something? It says, the prince of no value, the noble woman of no importance. Breshem Kaskem, Prince of the Kai, has lived content as the non-essential spare heir to a throne secured many times over. And Ildiko, niece of the gory king, has always known her only worth to the royal family lay in a strategic marriage. Two people brought together by the trappings of duty and politics will discover they are destined for each other, even as the powers of hostile kingdoms scheme to tear them apart. Like I said, this is very much like an indie book, but I've seen actually relatively good things about it. I wonder what the Goodreads rating for this is. Let's find out. Let's see. Let's go on to Goodreads. What is it? Radiance? Radiance by Grace Draven. There it is. So it has a 4.01 stars on Goodreads. That's, oh, and 56,000 ratings. That's not horrible. It's a 4-star book with 56,000 ratings. So, you know, maybe I am more excited about this than I thought. Another book with really tiny print, but 270 something pages. So I think I could fly through that. So I am actually kind of, that's cool. I don't know that this would have been a book that I would have grabbed as like a top priority for this month by myself. So that's part of the fun of this, right? Like I'm getting random ones that I might not have necessarily picked for myself. So, all right. What is next? Okay. These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. I'm looking up here because I actually have 2 editions of this. So this is the Fairy Loot edition. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to specifically read this. I try to avoid reading my special editions if I have the regular edition, so I might grab the one that's up there. But this is the Fairy Loot edition. It said, "A heart is a dangerous thing to steal. The king was right about one thing. I am a great thief. I can steal just about anything, but a fairy prince's heart, I wouldn't know where to start." This edition is absolutely stunningly beautiful. Oh wow, look at this artwork. I have a bunch of artwork in here. I actually have been meaning to grab little 5x7 frames for these artworks because I think it would be really cool in here. So this edition, I should put this right over here. This edition is signed with a cute little heart by Lexi Ryan. And right off the bat, it has a map. So I love that. Let's see if there's anything on the Naked book. Oh wow, it's a reverse dust jacket, and the Naked book is pretty beautiful as well. So this is a beautiful edition. I'm not guaranteeing I'm specifically going to read this one. If I don't have to crease the pages or break the spine or anything on the Fairy Loot edition, I'll read my normal one. But I did select this off of the special edition shelf. So we are going to read These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. All right. I am so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so full disclosure, I've been wanting to read this book since I saw Sarah Caroli literally love it. And then she even picked this for Destiny to read in one of their videos. And then I saw Rachel Catherine read it and love it. Like, they were all 5-star books. I don't remember what Destiny gave it. I know this is a 5-star for Rachel and Sarah. I forget what Destiny gave this. But I think it was over 4. Like, she loved it too. So I've been wanting to read this. This is a superhero dystopian novel where I believe there's a bunch of superheroes living in like a dystopian city. They each have different, I'm so, secret identities, extraordinary powers. She wants vengeance. He wants justice. I'm so excited to read this. This will be my first Marissa Ryan, and I'm really excited. I've been a little bit intimidated because dystopian and superhero isn't necessarily my thing, and this is over 500 pages, so I've been putting it off, but I do own the entire series because of course I do. So I'm really excited that this TBR and the way that we selected it pushed me into reading this. So, Renegades. Okay. Next off the special edition shelf, we picked The Atlas 6 by Ala V. Blake. This is another situation where I do actually own the regular version of this, so I'm probably not going to be reading this. This is the Fairy Loot edition, and I'll show it to you, but this is an academic, dark academia book, I believe. Definitely is fantasy. It says 6 extraordinary magicians, 5 chances to win, 1 secret society. He knew even before he started talking that they would all accept the offer. It was a formality, really. Nobody turned down the Alexandrian society. Even those pretending disinterest would be unable to resist. They would fight, he knew, tooth and nail to survive the next year of their lives. And if they were as steadfast and talented as the society presumed them to be, most of them would. Most of them. Yeah, so dark academia, secret society, I believe. Is this the one that's based in Yale? I think it is. I believe this is oh no, wait, that might be Ninth House. This isn't Yale. This is A Magical World. Ninth House is Yale by Lee Bardugo. So this is an absolutely stunning edition. I love the dagger on the pages. I love the artwork on the inside. I'm assuming this is the characters. The raw book is really beautiful. I'm probably not going to be reading this one once again if there's no reason to crease it and, you know, do damage to it because I own the original edition. I won't, so probably not going to read that one, but The Atlas 6 by Ala V. Blake. That's going to be my first Ala V. Blake too. I own so much of hers. I own this whole series. I own Atlas 6 and the Atlas Paradox. I own Alone with You in the Ether. I own, oh God, Masters of Death, One for My Enemy. I own so much of her work and I've just never gotten to reading her, so I'll definitely do that. The next one is The Goal by Elle Kennedy. This is the 4th book in the off-campus series. We didn't actually select this one on the TBR. I think it was telling us to read like the 6th, but I'm obviously not going to skip to the 6th. So we're going to read the 4th. This is The Goal, and if you don't read the off-campus series, it's basically just exactly what off-campus implies. It's around a friend group who goes to Breyer University. so far in the first three, all the guys have been on, all the male main characters have been on the hockey team. I think at one point you do kind of divert from that, but this one follows Sabrina, who I believe is it Dean's sister from book three? I believe it's Dean De Laurentiis' sister. No, wait, Sabrina James, Garrett Graham, Dean De Laurentiis, Logan. I don't know who Sabrina is. Anyways, Sabrina is the male main character, and who's Tucker. Tucker, so he's one of the hockey roommates. He's kind of like the more quiet one, the more reserved one. He's the one that's always cooking them dinner. He always gives really good advice. He has a really level head on his shoulders, so I'm excited to read about them. Okay, so next, tentatively, is Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. Like I said, I'm actually going to look up, I believe this is a separate world, or in the same world, but you can read it separately than the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which is the Serpent and the Wings of Night. But I'm going to do some research, because if it is suggested that you read that first, I'll grab Serpent and the Wings of Night first. It is over on my shelf, but I don't think, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful this edition is. I love when they do little pieces of artwork. Oh wow, that's a really pretty edition. Okay. But basically she was commanded to kill him with a single strike to the heart. She didn't expect her own to betray her. Selena has sacrificed everything. We had a barbecue here yesterday, and everyone was going in and out, like, to the pool area. Are you done? All right. Everyone was going in and out, like, to the pool area, and nobody was closing the slider on our back doors to our pool area. And I swear to God, I kept telling people, this is how bugs get in, this is how the flies get in, this is how mosquitoes get in, this is how bees get in, and what do you know? There's a fly flying around. So that'll be a problem for after this. But I believe this is standalone, and it says, Selena has sacrificed everything for her goddess, her soul, her freedom, her eyes. Her eyes? Is she blind? That's terrifying. That's like one of my biggest fears, is going blind. That seems so scary. Okay. Life in service to the Arakasan, a cult of the goddess of fate, has turned Selena from orphaned street rat to disciplined killer, determined to overthrow Glea's tyrannical king. Glea's tyrannical king? But when a brutal vampire conqueror arrives on their shores, Selena faces an even deadlier adversary. She's tasked with a crucial mission: infiltrate his army, earn his trust, and kill him. So, I think, if my recollection serves, you do not, I think it's the same world as Crowns of Nyaxia, but you do not have to read that. So I think we're going to be reading Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. Okay. The next book is Love in the Time of Serial Killers. We actually selected from Love from Cold World, which is the second book from this author, and I think they're interconnected, but I just want to start with the first one so that I don't get confused. So this is Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. It says, can true love survive her true crime obsession? I think this cover is so cute. It says, one woman is going to have to learn how to give love a chance when she's used to suspecting the worst in this fresh romantic comedy. So it's a rom-com. I love that. PhD candidate Phoebe Walsh has always been obsessed with true crime. She's even analyzing the genre in her dissertation, if she can manage to finish writing it. It's hard to find the time while she spends the summer in Florida cleaning out her childhood home, dealing with her obnoxiously good-natured younger brother, and grappling with the complicated feelings of mourning a father she hadn't had a relationship with for years. It doesn't help that she's low-key convinced that her new neighbor, Sam Dennings, is a serial killer. That's funny. That's really funny. All right. And then we selected my Kindle book. And for my Kindle book, I'm going to read The Hunger Games. I'm not even going to bother giving a description because I don't know literally anything about it. I've never read a Hunger Games book. I've never seen a Hunger Games movie. I know it has something to do with like a competition where they fight to the death for this like tyrannical, is it like a tyrannical government? Like a tyrannical town? I don't know. Really, what really made me want to start reading The Hunger Games is because the Song of Songbirds and Snakes, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, just released, which is like a prequel, and I think that movie or that show is coming out, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to watch that, but I literally know nothing about Hunger Games. I should read them, and they're Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read Hunger Games this month. And then I'm going to read The Last Word by Taylor Adams. This is going to be my mystery thriller for this month. And this book is about a woman who writes a 1-star, like a bad review about an author on a review site. And then I believe the author starts stalking her. That's terrifying. I've heard this is really good. I've seen a lot of creators give this 5 stars. So I'm so excited to start reading it. So there you have it, guys. There's the stack. I hope you guys thought this was fun. I really liked this. I feel like this was a good combination of like random, but at the same time, like I am kind of mood reading. I love that I added those like pie slices that kind of let me have a little bit of freedom because I don't want to stay super strict with it. And this month, this is the intention, but I'm going to allow myself to mood read a little bit. Like if I get something that really draws my attention, or if I love one of these books and I want to continue on with the series, for example, these Hollow Vows. If I read this and it's 5 stars and I love it, and I want to continue to the second book, These Twisted Bonds, I'm going to let myself do it. I just feel like I need to have a month where I just let myself kind of read what I want and just kind of decompress. Sometimes reading in a really regimented way takes not the fun out of it, because I would be reading regardless. I'll read anything you put in my hands, but like it takes out some of the enjoyment. Like, I don't know, it just takes out some of the freedom, there you go. It takes out some of the freedom you have in your reading, which makes it a hobby. So that is all for today. I hope you love this. Please comment below which one of these that you would start with, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.